In this video, I'll be looking at what's wrong with Genshin Impact. To begin, let me first give a brief overview of the game. Genshin Impact is a free-to-play action role-playing game developed by the Chinese company MiHoYo and is available on PC, PlayStation 4, Android, and iOS. The game's look and mechanics are heavily inspired by Zelda Breath of the Wild, allowing the player the freedom to run, climb, swim, and glide around a fantasy-based open world. Unlike Breath of the Wild, however, the player can control up to 4 characters at any one time. Characters in the game have an anime-like appearance and can be unlocked through the story or by Gacha. Each character has a unique set of skills and traits, allowing for various combat styles depending on the character used. Currently, the game has over 20 characters which can be unlocked and more to be added in the future. The main problems of this game stem from the bad mobile monetization model it uses. The two biggest offenders are the game's Gacha and stamina system. Let's first look at the stamina system. Stamina is something that those who play mobile games are most likely familiar with. It is a way of limiting how much a player plays a game. To continue playing, a player must purchase more stamina. In Genshin Impact, stamina takes the form of something called Resin. Resin has a cap of 120 and gradually refills throughout the day. Initially in the game, Resin doesn't take a very big role and players are able to freely continue through the story and explore the world without restriction. However, as a player moves further into the game, Resin gradually becomes indispensable to progressing one's characters. To increase characters' levels in Genshin Impact, experience is needed. However, unlike other games where experience is acquired through defeating enemies, the main source of experience in Genshin Impact is through experience books. These are consumable items that immediately grant characters experience. They can be acquired through quests and chests, but later on the main source of them is from ley lines that appear in the world. To get the treasure a ley line holds, one must use 20 resin. Next, let's talk about Mora, the currency in the game. When leveling a character or their equipment, there are certain points that require the character or equipment to be ascended in order to continue leveling them. One of the things needed for ascension is Mora, and one of the main ways of acquiring Mora is through using resin. The higher the level, the more Mora that is needed. Resin is also required to get materials for weapons ascension, to acquire talent books to level up characters' talents, and to farm high-level artifacts. Just about all aspects of the character's progression are limited by resin. With a low cap of only 120 resin, one can burn through it in only about 10 to 15 minutes of playing the game. If the developers want to limit how fast characters progress, there are other ways to do that instead of using a horrendous monetization method that is stamina. Stamina itself is something that I never really understood. Wouldn't it be better to let players play the game as long as they want and provide other things like cosmetic items to show their support for the game? Why does how much one plays the game need to be artificially controlled through stamina? I suppose the answer is money. However, monetization that impacts gameplay does not lead to great games. This leads me to the next problem with Genshin Impact: Gacha. Gacha is a loot box type of mechanic commonly found in Asian games. To unlock most of the characters in Genshin Impact, one must rely on Gacha. While unlocking new characters is not needed to proceed through the game, one of the main draws of Genshin Impact is the various characters and their unique playstyles. Mixing and matching characters in a party can lead to a totally different game experience. Characters also have rarities, with the rare 5-star characters often having more powerful and impactful skills. However, the chance of getting a 5-star character from Gacha is a minuscule 0.6%. That is around one 5-star character every 167 attempts. Although Genshin Impact does have a pity mechanic which guarantees a 5-star after 90 pulls. New players are given a large number of free pulls to give them a taste of the Gacha mechanic, but the pulls become much more limited later in the game. Gacha attempts can be bought in the cash shop, but they come at a premium of around $2 a pull. Even with the pity mechanic, it would take an average of $180 just to unlock a 5-star character through the cash shop. Even then, it's not guaranteed you'll get the character you're hoping for. The truly scary thing about Gacha is the predatory nature of it. It feeds off players' gambling addictions, causing them to use hundreds if not thousands of dollars just for a chance to get a character they are hoping for. But Genshin Impact doesn't stop there. Even if you are lucky enough to unlock the character you want, there's the constellation mechanic in the game. Constellations are a way of increasing a character's power and unlocking their full potential. To progress a character's constellation, multiple of that character must be acquired. You spent thousands of dollars and finally got the character you wanted? Well, now you have to do it 6 more times to get the best version of that character. Genshin Impact is a fun game with a beautiful world and great music, dragged down with horrendous monetization systems. Without stamina and gacha, Genshin Impact would be a much better game, and I could see it having a much broader appeal and a much larger impact on gaming in general. So it is sad to see MiHoYo choose to implement an unnecessary stamina wall and take the predatory gambling addiction route that is gacha. However, the reason they did so is evident: money. Even if it doesn't have as broad of appeal, and even if it impacts the quality of the game, people will buy stamina, and gambling addicted whales who can't stop themselves will spend thousands of dollars at a chance for their favorite character.